Alright, here's a mind bender for you. I don't know, you can call what's the last math problem you heard of math bender. Alright, start putting in numbers. We'll just put that on the side for now. But let's assume that math and general relativity is the thing, and right now this is a drill sergeant, right now is a drill sergeant teaching somebody how to fold the corner on the 45-degree corner on their bed. Now, they don't really seem like the same thing, but they definitely are, and here's why. What I'm doing right now requires no action up or down, zero in front of me of the car traveling down the road at 40 miles an hour. However, in the applied model of what might be there, there's a deer in front of you, and you're just, maybe you move it back. Proper answers of what that would look like. And here we're integrating a Sharps variable. Because I understand that that's the function in front of me, I'd have to understand the entropy of the form and the tone and the frequencies that best registers something in the physics of what that does. Whether in myself or whatever image I'm trying to project or timeline or when that'll be useful, because sometimes I'm not just saying the bed or the bunks or the 45 degrees on the enemy camps. You guys want world leader. You guys want camp right there because training method says I have those people in the need of whatever a rational number. Government says the assembly of these people will cause punishment in a form of if you don't. Constitutional obligation. Ignorance of the law is no excuse to the jungle. Stuff was happening there. Law of the jungle says, yeah, you could kill her, drag her off out here. Two buddies could watch you, Sharps officer, rape her, have her stigmata, fear and anxiety of the system coming down on them, or how it'll affect the system, bosses, crews, timelines, whole units, and your brain line, neural networking of what causes fear and anxiety of being out there in the first fucking place. Not the cat in her clothes, but wearing the proper choice. It's like, after midnight, you made a choice in a free constitutional American to go out there and be more sexy. Your fucking Peep Marshmallow target for me is captain on the ship. For what I'm going to talk about as a Sharp officer for you tonight. Be careful, honey, tonight we're talking about battlefield defenses and strategy. This isn't just about roofies anymore. And, brother, you too. When King Kong out there, you playing the game inside here, make sure you're not messing around with some gravity shit or that linebacker over there, unless you are that linebacker looking for that kind of girl or some of that gravity shit that can back that up, right? Because it's not just you or you couldn't. Timeline says you could, but there's going to be a lot of friction about what happened here when I go to incident report that and say that's what that looked like. Does the Supreme Court case say I discriminated you as an American to not make that choice, when the end results of those things were clearly some kind of bifunction, bifrost process, some different realm of, the higher order of things here. Just through that film, that Mayan people back in the day throw the virgin in the volcano because, getting freaky up top with the witch doctor, and you don't want nobody to fucking know. That's why we make rules. That's the combat minimizer, obviously, on your gate. We have an enemy in here. His name is Getter. Hi, you met these before. Drill sergeant is the enemy because it goes against everything with freedom and socialism, but it shows the correct model N1, M2, Mn of the first variable of anybody in that uniform or defined physics that explains that model. And yeah, I'm pushing there a little bit because that would be a big number. Regardless of whether I like it or I'm projecting that number to you, the system in gravity says that's what makes the sky blue. Some reflection off the water, not hoodoo voodoo magic. Gray clouds, weather, pattern, temperature differentials. It's a little bit warmer today at 63, and this time of the year to what the season is normally. It's cloud cover variance on that. I'd factor that. If I needed some irrational number, it's warmer. I saw more animals right now when that ran around. I'd try that logic again in topology to function this model and how we proceed with what happens there. So to begin with, again, our Sharps variable on what a drill sergeant is teaching you how to fold your bed or design your coffin, your tomb as a mason, them saws, what's life, what's what's going on in terms of explaining that, to not just see points where people's opinions might do something different, but because they have a valid opinion, as an American, how I'm going to use that, even though I have the right to not say anything and make them do their own physics. It'd be more efficient for me to explain that physics with the correct tone and physics, tone and wave there, for what I'm about to explain to them, so it describes what 50 wave particle slit experiment looks like for my topology. That X, Y, and Z. Here's the marshmallows. Then you can make a case. Nullify any jury by the standards of you should know to settle out of court with me. This is just the trip factor of what the system is, unless you're gonna drop some evidence that you didn't even know about. It's one thing to say time didn't present itself in the cases, and the judge is gonna allow certain things under the standards of this was this short recess, judge, district attorney, prosecution. I made it easy, right? 0-1, demon up. Gate up, demon gate down, demon in the gate, which is just a bit of entropy, a little bit of wiggly squiggly line that is on the quantum operator and about to go back through for the legal timeline system that we have to do. And therefore the modified Stanford experiment of drill sergeants, guards, teachers, master masons, anybody who's really above that causal line under E2, E8, or excuse me, E1 king on the chessboard to E2 being a pawn. In effect, I have one move. It might have some variables of I0 or I-1 and K0. Kelvin is 0 here. There is no molecular movement, so the spaces between those spaces will always be voids. In where this particle is, it might have something in this position on a simple piece of paper, but like a string being rotated around, it'll have a force in that way. So that means that wobble, if the magnetics around that, the energy in working joules to what's connected and left on its own inertial and momentum from a cosmic radiation background, let's say the stone mill being the mass gap, has that force to move in that trebuchet direction over the wall and kind of get there and make sense under those standards. Because then the refining course of something like you're arrested, the workforce program, here's your 83 on the ASVAB to make the legal on that, because you do have a case. And I can't necessarily as a government say your company should be responsible for that, because that's a freedom that every American has to make that choice to want to do that. As much as you got to be free and do it all yourself, and homestead rescue, independent off the grid, don't come back. Your people make the problem when they don't make it. And so I'll play dead some days when drill sergeant's hammering you about the 45. Catch you on the next one.